Hello and welcome everyone to my review on Sense, a Cyberpunk ghost story. Now, I have just recently finished the game, first playthrough of the game, and the prequel little story that they also give you after you complete the game. And first off, I want to say sorry, it's taken me so long. I've had a lot of things going on, and I had no time to just sit back, relax, and get down to making this review. And now we're going to talk about how the game was. So basically, to make a long story short, you play as this woman who has cybernetic eyes. She is going to this place for a date. She goes to the date place, and then all of a sudden her eyes start acting up, and she goes to the bathroom to like check her eyes, and then all of a sudden she seems to be transported to this old building that seems frozen in time. Like, I believe it's like 1989 is the time. Not that it's important, but like she gets basically trapped in a building where time has seemingly never gone past 1989. As she explores the old ruined building, she comes across ghosts. And these ghosts, they don't appear as, you know, a corporeal form. No, since Sense is a cyberpunk story, they appear in a glitch type manner, if you understand what I mean. So basically, they don't look like, oh, I'm a see through human. They appear as like a malfunction in her eyes that causes a glitch to appear. Think of like an unwanted pop up ad. And as you go through and you're dealing with these ghosts, you can collect jade bracelets. Jade bracelets basically make it so that if you ever got captured by one of these ghosts, you won't get killed instantly. Later on in the game, you meet a spirit, and this spirit teaches you how to perform basically exorcisms and ritual rites to appease the spirits. And as you're going through, you find out what happened in the apartment that these ghosts are patrolling, and you find a memento or picture that's of them or related to them, and then you basically perform a rite by burning some incense and appeasing the spirits. Now, there's also some other ghosts where you're gonna fight them and you're gonna have combat. So there is combat, but the combat in the game is lackluster. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's not anything super like advanced. You're not gonna be like, it's not like Dark Souls where you're gonna be like dodging and weaving and stuff like that. It's more enemy attacks, move a little bit out of its way, and then hit a button to throw salt at them. They come down, and then you smack them with your sword, rinse, repeat. That's how the combat goes. And I'm gonna be honest with you, the final boss in this game is a joke, because if you are quick enough, which I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't even trying, and I was being quick to capture her, the boss keeps moving across the screen, and it's supposed to attack you. However, when I was fighting this boss, they did not pull off a single attack move. No, no, no. I got to the boss, kept throwing salt, came down, wham, 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 and that was it. Boss fight, the last boss fight is really easy. Things that I liked about the game, I did like the cyberpunk theme, because, you know, getting closer to the ending, we kind of question whether or not things are really happening. Like, is it really ghosts or is it a malfunction in the cybernetics that we have? And if you don't want spoilers, you shouldn't be watching a review. But basically, one of the endings, I don't know if there's multiple endings. I know there's multiple playthroughs that you can do. But one of the endings basically but makes us think whether or not ghosts do play a part of it, or if it was just cybernetic eyewear malfunctioning. The police that find your character think that it was a malfunction in the eyes, right? But there's things that they can't explain as well. So, we might know something that others don't. And the pre-story was kind of good because it tied in why we can see ghosts and all these strange things. And I did like its simple design. A lot of the puzzles, they weren't too bad to figure out on your own. A lot of them are easy. A lot of it, you can figure out. Story, a little bit confusing, but pretty nice. It's a pretty nice story. I had so much fun enjoying it. I kept playing this game over and over and over. And it was an enjoyable experience. It was very enjoyable. I loved every second of it. Now, I will be honest with you, there are things in this game that are hindrance to the good things in this game. One, which is not super problematic, is when you're going to certain puzzles, you definitely need to read your documents, because if you aren't reading the documents in the journal, you're gonna miss clues. Some things update to give you more lore and stuff like that. A large majority of stuff that I did without even knowing a lot of lore. I missed a lot of lore, and that was because I didn't read the journal notes. And I was stuck on some puzzles because I didn't read the journal notes. And once you do that, it makes it a lot easier. I'll definitely be doing that more on my next playthrough, because there is New Game Plus, and it encourages you to do New Game Plus because you can get different outfits for your character, which was nice. I love the outfits. You can get trophies, and we're gonna see what happens in these playthroughs. If anything changes, I don't know. So, that's a nice feature. But keeping with the things that are bad, this game makes you go back and forth a lot. So basically, like, you have multiple floors of elevators, and you're not going to be able to take one elevator all the way up to whatever floor that you want to. No, you're gonna, in the beginning of the game, you're going to basically be climbing every elevator one by one, etc. So, like, if you're on the 4th floor, right? I don't know if it was the 4th or 5th, where you got the ability to actually ride the elevator as far as you wanted. But one of these floors, you're on a high floor, and then you realize, oh, I need to get to the 1st floor, right? You're gonna have to backtrack all the way back down there for an item, and then you have to go all the way back up. That sucks, especially when you're going through these areas the first time, and you can obviously tell what's an item you're going to need later on. Because whenever there's dialogue and she talks about an item, it's marked in a specific color. So you're always going to know of an important item that you can get or acquire or something like that. However, the game doesn't always let you pick these things up right away. There was a lot of frustration because it was obvious that I was going to need the item, and then the game says like, no, you can't pick that up right now, I don't need it. And then basically you either go to the next room and then it's like, oh, I need that item, and you go back and then back into the room where you needed it. Or the worst of the options, as I've said, you're on the 4th floor and you realize, oh, there's something on the 1st floor that I need. And then you have to make that long trip back. There's also some ghosts that appear, which are good for scares, but like, they're kind of one-off creepy moments. Like, there was a lady that appeared in the mirror, and I was very on edge at first because I was like, we're gonna have to run from the ghost again. Oh no, we're gonna have to do this and that, you know? But here's the thing, she doesn't make another appearance. That ghost woman doesn't. Another ghost woman keeps making an appearance because she's the main antagonist. However, you know, I don't mind things being one and done. It's just, you had a whole dedicated cutscene to it. Like, she never appears again. And every time you walked past that mirror, you thought she's gonna appear. She never does. And it's good for suspense, but also like kind of crappy that it was one off. But, you know, I'm being nitpicky. Characters are likable. Some of the stories of the ghosts in the apartments are really heartbreaking. There was this one where it was like, one of the characters was like I think a trans person, and they found someone that they loved, and I think the person excuse me, I think the husband either was cheating on her or like something like that, and in fear of him leaving her, she, you know, killed him. And it was just heartbreaking to read the journal entries and, you know, seeing like, this is how we got here. Overall, like, how I would rate this game, I'd probably rate this game probably like out of 10, I'm gonna give it a 7.5. 7.5 out of 10. I did enjoy this game a lot. I enjoyed the settings. The first little bit is kind of like a slow burn, and then it kind of like ramps up once you get into the building, which is fairly quick. Oh, another thing that hurts this game. Alright. Sorry, I got something in my throat. This game, you have to save scum a lot. Alright? You're gonna be constantly saving, quick saving. Thankfully, we can quick save. I think it was an update in the game that made us quick save, because before, I think you just needed to find videotapes and then put the videotapes in the VHS, and then you save that way to make it more survival horror, right? Like, I don't like that. I don't like limited saves. So thankfully they let us quick save whenever we want to. However, if you don't quick save enough, you could accidentally get your character killed and then have to go through all that process again. I remember I hadn't saved for a while, and then there was a puzzle where I had two options. One was like reach down into a drain or check underneath the cabinet. I, like an idiot, checked into the drain and reached in, only to have my character meet the garbage compactor and be met with a game over screen. And with a game over screen, it doesn't load your last save. It takes you back to this menu, and then you have to hit continue, hit your quick save, save data, and then boom, you're back. And that's with every death scene. So that, in my opinion, hurts the game, but then again, it puts you more emphasis on like being careful of your choices and more like stressing that survival horror ish. Now, I did give this a 7.5 out of 10, and I want to talk a little bit because they do have another game out. However, that game, from what I've seen, I haven't played it yet, but I'm thinking of buying it. That game is completely different from this game. The only thing that seems to be similar is the Sense title. That game that is this not a sequel, but like the newest thing that they've worked on. It's basically like more traditional survival horror. Basically, you got fixed camera angles, and it's a different style. They kind of dropped the cyberpunk like aesthetic, which kind of makes me sad. I really hope if the devs watch or someone who can like get in contact with them more, I really hope they make like a Sense to a Cyberpunk Ghost Story, because I really enjoyed this game. And I feel like, at least with the ending that I have right now, like I said, I don't know if there's multiple endings to this game. Like, if I go through the game again and I get another ending by doing everything the same, right? Will there be any changes? I don't know. But going off the ending that we have, that I've gotten, I kind of want a sequel. For me personally, I want a sequel, and I love this style too. I really do. I like the side scrolling. It was pretty nice. So would I recommend you play Sense the Cyberpunk Ghost Story? Yes, if you've heard everything that I have to say, positive and negative, and you think that the good experience will outweigh the bad things in this game, I highly recommend that you play it. It's nice. It wasn't expensive, so it's not going to be like, I know that Resident Evil 9 came out, so you're not going to be forking over like 70, 75 bucks if you're where I live. You're not going to be breaking the bank getting this game. It's an old PS4 title. So, yeah, especially if it goes on sale, you know. If you want to save that extra money, you know, you can wishlist it, pick it up cheap. It's a pretty good game. And a game that I enjoyed playing it from start to finish, even with all the criticism of the negative parts of the game that I didn't like. So yeah, it's gonna be my review for the game. Sorry, I'm not like other channels where they put in gameplay footage. I'm really tired making this right now, and I don't have a whole lot of free time. If I had more free time, then yeah, I'd record certain things, you know, going through. But yeah, there's a game that you want me to review, like an unknown title, like this game, Sense the Cyberpunk Ghost Story. I would say it's a lesser known title because I didn't know of it until I stumbled across it. So lesser known titles on PlayStation, specifically like horror titles, yeah, let me know of them in the comment section. Let me know of them. I want to play more of these games. Mostly because I'm broke. I'm broke, and I want to play something cheap but something good. So yeah, see you in the next one. Let me know if you've played the game also, or thinking of getting the game. And yeah, peace.